So hello and welcome to the latest in URM's webinar programme, Data Subject Access Requests, or DSARs for ease, so I don't get too tongue-tied as we go through this webinar. A nightmare for privacy professionals, or are they? My name is Lisa Dargan, I'm a director here at URM, and I'm delighted to be joined by Rachel Salter, who I'll introduce to you shortly, who's going to be walking you through the subject of DSARs. So we've got a really packed agenda that we're aiming to address today. We're going to start with, just so we're on the same page, what is a DSAR? We're going to look at some recent breaches and ICO actions very briefly, just to put into context why this is such a hot topic and the ICO's approach to it. We're going to look at the legal requirements you need to comply with, the key steps, how to appropriately consider context, and as Rachel will explain to you, this is vitally important. What you can do if you believe the request to be vexatious or excessive or way over the top. What are derogations? I don't even know what that word means, so hopefully Rachel you can explain that to me and how they apply, how to apply them. Redacting other personal data, i.e. not the data subjects, how far do you need to go? Potential post-disclosure issues, top tips, and then a webinar offer. Now, the recording of this and the slides are available, so if you can mark on your feedback form at the end of the webinar that you would like to receive a copy, we can share those with you. So just very briefly, for those of you that aren't familiar with URM, who are we and why we're doing this webinar today? We've got over 19 years experience. We're tipping into our 20th year next year. And we've been working with data protection since our inception in 2005. We take a holistic approach generally around information security, data protection, cyber security, matching our expertise with that of our consultants who've got a lot of experience, probably sitting on the side of the fence that you are, and also working as consultants. What makes us different? As you'll find out from Rachel in a moment, we have a passionate team of people who really care about the subjects that they are experts in and really want to help you and help make your lives simpler whilst complying with legislation. So let me just introduce you briefly to Rachel. Morning, Rach. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Lisa.
So Rachel's been involved with data protection since 2010. As well as being a senior consultant, Rachel's acted as a DPO for a number of organisations. She's a very accomplished trainer, and one of the offers we've got from here is to attend one of the training courses. Rachel's worked with UK and EU GDPR, global legislation, particularly in the US and parts of Asia, and is our team leader in terms of DSAR redactions, and hence is why so strong on today's subject. So Rach, let's start with, let's just go back to basics so we're all on the same page, because I do get slightly confused by this. What is a DSAR?
Okay, so a DSAR is basically a request made to a company, and that request comes from someone who wants to know what personal data is being processed about them by that company. It's not always necessarily badged as a DSAR, so they may not use the legislation. It doesn't always necessarily need to be done in writing either. So it could just be an email, a telephone call, someone could just mention it in passing, I want to see my information, or I know you have a copy of, or something along those lines. They don't necessarily have to mention the word DSAR or data subject access request. So you need to be aware for listening out for key terms to be able to recognise one when someone has a discussion.
So is this, right, so this time of year, I am bombarded by all sorts of organisations that I didn't think I'd ever approach to tell me it's Black Friday and look at this amazing offer. So when we talk about a DSAR, is this when I go to organisation X and say, give me what information you've got on me? Is that so that's my right to ask for information, what information's held on me or what personal data people have got? Is that what a DSAR is?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, if an organisation processes your personal data in any way, you as the data subject have the right to make a request under Article 15 of the GDPR to have access to that information they process about you. That could be your bank, it could be the GP, it could be a credit card company, it could be anyone who processes your information down to the dentist or something like that. And it's where you ask to see what copies of information they hold about you.